Greetings and welcome to another episode of Trippy Food. Today we are in Los Angeles and we are at the Natural History Museum of Los Angeles County, and we're here for the annual bug fair. The bug fair takes place once a year over a weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and basically they have cooking demonstrations, they have live insects, they have insects that you can collect, they have insect memorabilia, all things insect and bug related. And it's just too much to get into right now without checking it out for ourselves. So let's go on inside, let's go to the bug fair and check it out and see what it's all about. So right now we're going to enter the North American Mammals Hall, and there's vendors set up on both sides. Some have live insects, some have insects on pins, some have insect t-shirts and wooden ones. So we're going to check this out, kind of see what's in here. Okay, so we're at a booth right now. This is Reptile Factory from Downey, California. Who am I speaking with?
My name's Carl.
Carl?
Yeah, Carl.
Okay, and Carl, what do we have here?
This is an emperor scorpion. This is a 2-year-old female. She actually has a couple babies we have here. This is a little captive bred baby. Tiny little thing. It's about an inch.
Oh my God, look how tiny that is. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, I heard that when the babies are born, they usually climb on the mother's back so they don't get eaten.
Correct, yeah. So these guys are about a month old now. They actually separated from their mother about 2 weeks, and they've been eating twice a week, so we decided, you know what, it's time to sell them. Normally we like to wait a little longer, but, you know, the bug fair, we decided to bring them down.
Now, is there any truth to when people say that as far as scorpions go, the larger the claws, the lesser the venom is?
Not in all cases, but it does reflect on some of the species, but not everything.
So the emperor scorpion is one you usually see in movies, and probably because they're the most docile?
Correct, yeah. So they're usually one of the biggest scorpion in the world. These guys can be pretty docile.
These are the largest?
Yeah, they're the largest.
Now, if it did sting you, it has a weak venom, but if you're allergic to, say, bee stings, then it would probably be a problem?
It is a misconception, but it does hold some truth. The venom, it acts in different ways as well, so if you're allergic to a specific venom, I mean, there are some consequences, but for the most part, it will be okay. It will hurt, there will be some irritation.
There's some venom. Yep, I heard spider.
You keep her under black light?
We don't, not her. But we keep the babies here under black light. These are original parts.
All right, cool. Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you guys.
Okay, here at the bug fair right now, I'm talking to Allie Moore, and Allie Moore just finished a presentation on bugs, which it was, I guess, calm for some people because you were mostly doing things like cricket powder and cricket flour and things like that. But you haven't always been into bugs, is that right?
Very true. He's had a phobia of them. So,
but you said we have a common friend that has kind of gotten you interested in it, which is David Gordon. A shout out to you, David Gordon, the bug chef. Mm-hmm. And so, like, how many years do you think it's been like since we really started getting into bugs?
It's been about 6.5 or 7 years now. So
Yeah.
a bit of time.
Now, I think we were having a discussion earlier where we were talking about like cricket flour.
Yeah.
And cricket flour, it's good because it's sustainable. It substitutes some other things. It helps the environment. However, I guess maybe people like you and I, cricket flour is kind of a novelty for us. It's like you're eating something, but you're eating it a little bit different because it has cricket flours in it. But if we want like the taste of crickets, we just go ahead and eat crickets.
Yeah, I think that it's a careful kind of line that we walk, because in the industry itself, you'll have this like Facebook online debate about, well, we want a Trojan horse that, put them in the bars and the chips and the cakes. But other folks will say, no, you need to celebrate it. Like, you need people to know that they're eating a bug, be excited about that. It's like a lobster.
Well, I think it's good entry level for people who are eating bugs, because basically they don't have to look at it. They don't have to see legs and wings and things like that, and it makes them more open to eating a bug. Now, sometimes you can get people, once they've actually tried it, you've actually put crickets in your mouth, and so the next time you actually present them with whole crickets, they may be more open to that. Some people will never be into that. Some people will never be open to that, but it's always
bug.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, I always try to kind of relate it to people. Like I say, would you eat a scorpion? And they say no, and I say, would you eat lobster? And they say, oh yeah, I love lobster. There's not a lot of difference.
Well,
Not a
like
big
lobster.
Or like tarantula. I'm sure you've had tarantula, right?
Legs are delicious.
Yeah. To me, it tastes like soft shell crab.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry, it doesn't taste like soft shell crab, but it has the texture of soft shell crab.
The thorax is kind of seafoody. The legs are like premium beef jerky.
Yeah.
It doesn't get much better in my opinion.
Really good. So you're spreading the word, and then you have social media.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
So-
we'll get you on here. So be sure to follow on the information down below. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you. Amazing.
Well, it appears that insects have already taken over the Hall of African Mammals, so we're going to check this side out as well. Okay, and we're here with who?
Voice coming.
Royce?
Royce, yes.
Pleasure to meet you. And so your specialty is butterflies, right?
That and forensic entomology.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
So I see you have butterflies and you have moths. So really to solve the age-old question, what the difference between a moth and a butterfly is. Now my understanding is, and you need to correct me if I'm wrong, my understanding is that moths, when they rest their wings are flat and butterflies rest their wings are up, moths are nocturnal and butterflies are diurnal. Is that correct, or are there other differences as well?
If you're looking at just general insects, moths and butterflies, that is pretty close. There are a few exceptions though, such as there are day-flying moths, like that. That is actually a moth, even though it's close.
It looks like a butterfly.
Exactly. They're active during the day. There are not butterflies that are necessarily active during the night, but there are some that are not as colorful as some day-flying.
Now, is the reason that most moths are darker in color because they fly at night?
This is not really necessarily the need for beautiful, bright colors. They're more looking for the camouflage during the day when they're not active. Like over in the camouflage drawer, I have some moths that are at rest, trying to blend into the bark. Butterflies, they have really good vision. Moths don't need that vision. They rely more on the pheromones.
Now, I had read that there is a species of moth that lives in the city that over a period of time has actually changed their coloring to match buildings.
Well, it wasn't the moths changing their coloring. It was the variation in the population. Those that stood out got eaten. Those that blended in better, they were able to stay around. So yeah, it's actually a species of moth I have over in the camouflage store also.
So butterflies don't seem to take any precaution in disguising themselves. As a matter of fact, some of them are exceptionally bright. Now, I think
there are some great exceptions for disguised butterflies, like I showed you over there, called a deadleaf butterfly. It actually has when it's at rest, It has the shape of a leaf and even has a tail that looks like a stem.
Wow.
So as it's sitting on a stem, it actually looks like a dead leaf on the branch. So we've got a leaf here, butterfly there.
Wow.
And then this is a different type of leaf with a dead leaf praying mantis on it. So that's just when the butterfly is at rest. This is what the inside looks like when it's flying. It's a bright blue. Got some great camouflage. That one moth you were talking about being in the city is that species right there. The darker ones blended into the sooty walls of the city versus the lighter ones got picked off by the birds. And as soon as the pollution started getting cleaned up, the black ones stood out on the white walls and the white ones blended in better. These are a type of Goliath beetles. These are all from Africa. So these guys is actually funny. Everyone asks, like, can those actually fly? Yes, they can.
Why have wings if you can't fly?
They very fast to get flying. There was a funny story. It was a reality show where a zookeeper was brought in with a bunch of animals to talk about the different stuff. They brought a lemur and a meerkat. The Goliath beetle, halfway through the show, the Goliath beetle took off and was flying around the audience in the show. Because it thought, oh, there's nice warm lights on the stage, I'm going to go for a flight. And it took off and was circling around the lights, and they had to close all the doors so it wouldn't fly out of the studio.
Well, thank you very much for your time.
Oh,
Very welcome.
I just realized that isn't a leaf.
All right, right now we're with Joseph Yoon, who is a bug chef, and he just got finished his presentation where he combined a bunch of different bugs. How long have you been a chef specific to bugs?
For 2 years.
But have you done? Do you consider yourself like a chef in general first, and then you just got this interest in bugs, or did the whole thing just come together?
I have a company called Yummy Eats, and I've been a private chef, and my company is a private chef and caterer. And so I've been doing that now for about 8.5 years, running my own business. And 2 years ago, I started working with edible insects. And I do have a distinction though. While in practice, I do work as a chef and I work a lot with edible insects, but I view my role in this industry more as an advocate and as an ambassador, because I'm really working hard to raise awareness and appreciation for it. I'm working with a lot of universities through grant work to do a lot of research, try to raise the awareness, try to win over policymakers to make really broad-sweeping changes for mass adoption in America. So I feel like the role as a chef, while I do that by vocation, I do kind of separate kind of what I do, because I do so much more than just the actual cooking of insects, but really working towards the larger goal of having it be accepted and normalized in America.
I think the whole thing about eating insects, though, it's kind of like you got a very interesting question from a kid who asked, when do we start eating this, or why are we eating insects and everything. And the thing is people have been eating it since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
But also there's cultures that it's part of their culture.
Yeah.
There are certain insects like Chapulines in Oaxaca and the Hormigas colones in Colombia, or Mordegi in Korea. So this is things that's part of different cultures. It's just that from a Western standpoint, or from a particularly American standpoint, we're just kind of like, we don't eat these things.
Yeah, and that's really the big thing that I'm trying to change. And a lot of it is, one sort of example that I give is of a banana. And think about the first time anyone ever ate a banana. Like, oh, it's a banana. And they bite into an unpeeled banana and it's disgusting, right? It's like, what is this disgusting thing? Why did I even try eating it? And then you reach the center of the banana and you're like, oh, it actually has like a sweet flesh in the middle. And so I compare Americans and our relationship to eating insects like eating an unpeeled banana. We still haven't learned how to peel the banana, and then maybe even to start cooking with it, making bananas foster or banana bread. And so I think that the work that I'm doing, I'm trying to get more chefs to be involved so that they can start cooking with insects. And not only with chefs, but when I go on my college tour, I post case studies and I give presentations and like I've given them in over 12 different departments now. And this is something that is a rally call, not for just entomologists and for foodies, but really every single academic discipline can be actively involved in helping with the normalization of edible insects.
Right, I agree. Now, one thing that you did do today, and I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit here, because you made bondegi, and for me, it's almost like my kryptonite as far as insects. I eat a lot of insects, and a lot of them are delicious and everything, and I haven't yet gotten to try bondegi where I actually like it.
Did you get a chance to try the chocolate brownie?
No. You had the bondegi in the chocolate brownie?
You know what? They brought it downstairs. I almost feel like you need to try that dish, not just the insect by itself.
Well, I imagine that would improve just because you're doing something with it. Like, every time I've had it, it's been like either steamed or boiled or fried or whatever,
Yeah, right.
but just by itself.
I've made the brownies. I probably served over 10,000 people this year, but tens of thousands of people in the past 2 years. This chocolate brownie with silkworm pupa in it, and I make a guarantee to people: if you like brownies, I guarantee you 100% you're gonna like this.
But you realize the trick is you have to make good brownies too, right?
Well, I mean, as a chef, I stand behind all the food that I cook, so yeah.
Right.
So I'm gonna say, like, I mean, if you don't like silkworm pupas, you're not gonna like these.
Well, I'm gonna try these anyway. So
yeah.
Just how did you prepare these?
Well, these were prepared from my purveyors. These are fried in corn oil.
That's it, just fried in corn oil.
Yeah, and that just kind of like helps to preserve it. And
now I've tried fried bondegi before, but they still felt a little bit, I don't know, like a little meaty. And these seem light and crispy.
They're light and crispy.
So I think these are going to be a little bit different. So
Yeah.
I'm going to get into it.
And also, I saw something fascinating with silkworm pupa, something I've never seen before. But at Tufts University, they're making cultured insect protein. And so I don't know if you've heard about the cultured meat that they're doing.
Yeah.
And so they're doing it with insect protein, and they
Wow.
use the silk from the silkworm to help. It's part of the process for making the cultured insect protein.
I'm going to be brutally honest with you here. So I actually like these. Well, I'm not going to say like I would like eat a whole handful of these or a whole bag full of these, but I like these, and here's why. Because these are kind of light and crispy all the way through.
Yeah.
And usually when I'm eating bondegi, it still has that kind of like
Mushy.
dead rotting leaf taste in the middle.
Yeah.
And these
Well,
don't have them because they're, like I said, they're light and crispy.
Yeah, and you know, I get these. I've gotten a lot of different types of bondegi, and like a lot of times they're in a can and they're in
packed
liquid
water,
and stuff. And it's not. They have a little bit of a funky, off-putting flavor sometimes for people. But once again, if you think about the first time you ate a vegetable, you probably didn't like it. But then your palate starts learning how to appreciate the flavor of it. Maybe it's because you know it's healthy for you. Maybe it's forced on you. But as an adult now, I love my vegetables. And so I think the same thing goes with like edible insects. It's like you may not even like it the first time, but you find another chef who prepares it a different way, or you try it in different methods. I mean, I just think that people need a more of an open mind, which is what I really.
But let me ask you a question. You're of Korean descent, correct?
Yeah.
So how long have you been eating them?
I didn't eat insects as a kid.
No?
I mean, I've eaten like random insects just when people would visit Mexico and they would come back, or mezcal bottles and the gusano worm. But I really didn't extensively start eating or working with insects until just a little over 2 years ago.
Well, you did a fun presentation, and I think, again, you're doing a service, and I appreciate what you do. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Val. Appreciate it. All right, man. Take care.
Okay, right now we are in the main hall. What do they call this area? With the foyer. And I'm speaking with
Brian Brown.
Now, Brian, you are an entomologist with the museum.
Right, I'm the curator of the entomology.
So are you focused on like local Southern California insects or just insects in general?
We do both. We have projects in the tropics. We're working on biodiversity on a large scale. We also have local projects like the Bioscan project here in backyards and gardens.
So the insects that are on display here, these are not all local insects, right?
No, there's a combination of local and exotic things.
All right, and I guess what most people don't realize, I think some people are starting to see this, like with bees, how important bees are into our ecosystem and in our survival in general. But are there other insects that are kind of, you're seeing decreasing or other invasive species that have come in that are causing problems?
There are problems, especially in urban areas that are so highly disturbed, where invasive species can cause a lot of problems, like the Argentine ant. It's here in Los Angeles.
Is that a fire ant?
No, it's the Argentine ant. It's a different one.
Okay.
And Argentine ants exclude all other ants, including local native ants.
So they kill all the ants?
Right. It's just Argentine ants that live around here pretty well. And things like horned lizards that feed on harvester ants, they're almost gone from the area.
Wow.
So that's an example of what an invasive species can do.
And then you have also, is it a beetle that infests trees?
We have lots of beetles that go after trees.
But they're not native, right?
Correct, like the shotboard borers and things like that. They come in with timber from other countries and they come and reproduce in trees here that aren't used to them. So there are problems for citrus, for palm trees, for oaks. There are species that go after all of these things, all these iconic trees in California.
So do you work with like local governments as far as helping to control the invasive species and helping to preserve the species that are dwindling?
That's a more applied aspect of entomology that I don't do. What I do is more go out and find a new species and explore the world.
So which is an excellent question. How often do you usually find like a new species that hasn't been identified before?
We can find them anywhere when we work on small things like flies. And we found close to 50 new species here in Los Angeles alone.
Wow. And what kind of time span?
In about 2 years. And we're still finding new species here in Los Angeles. So
now, is it possible that you're finding species that also may have been brought in from other places and they just haven't been identified anywhere else?
Yeah, it's a combination of things that have always been here, things that were introduced here that nobody's looked at because, like I said, we're so small and there's so few of us who are taxonomists working.
So I imagine you've always participated in the fair, is that right?
Yeah.
And it's been going on for how long now?
33 years.
Wow.
But I've only been here for 26, so I'm not that old.
All right, thank you very much.
Sure.
Thanks, Brian.
The Bug Fair at the Natural History Museum of Los Angeles County has been going on for about 30 years now. It's a fun place to go and spend the day. You get to see live insects, you get to see collected insects, you get to see cooking presentations on it, and you also get to see some of the other exhibits in the museum, regular exhibits in the museum, since your admission actually gives you access to the rest of the museum as well. So it's a fun place to come out and spend the day, learn about insects, maybe not be so afraid of them, get into entry-level bug eating. It's just a great experience all around. So if you get a chance, get out here to the Bug Fair at the Natural History Museum of Los Angeles County. Get out here, enjoy what's going on, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for checking out Trippy Food. If you enjoyed watching that video half as much as I did making it, well then I enjoyed it twice as much as you did. And if that's the case, you'll probably like this video right here. And if not, check out this video right here. That one's a little bit different. Either way, leave a comment down below. And be sure to subscribe by clicking on the Trippy Food icon right here. Glad you could make it, and we hope to see you again soon.